Beneath our adult responsibilities, behind our habits and defenses, lives a child, still longing to be seen, heard, and held. Most of us carry invisible wounds from childhood. Not because we had terrible parents, but because, as children, we lacked the tools to understand pain, fear, and rejection. In today's episode, we dive into one of the most powerful journeys of self-discovery, healing the inner child. This is not about dwelling in the past, it's about reclaiming the parts of ourselves we've abandoned. When we reconnect with the child within, we create space for emotional freedom, deep self-love, and lasting transformation. If you've ever felt like something's missing, like no matter what you achieve you still feel unworthy, or if you've struggled with patterns that seem impossible to break, this episode is for you. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is the inner child and why it matters? To truly grow, we must first go back, not to stay but to understand. We often think of personal growth as something forward-facing, setting goals, changing habits, mastering our mindset. But what if the key to moving forward is hidden in our past? Inside each of us lives an inner child, the part of our psyche formed in our early years. It carries our earliest experiences, our most basic emotional needs, and the beliefs we absorbed long before we could question them. Your inner child is the part of you that once danced freely, believed in magic, and sought love without fear. But it's also the part that felt confused when love was withheld, that learned to hide emotions to avoid punishment, or that felt shame for simply being different. These early experiences didn't just happen, they shaped you. For example, a child who felt unheard may grow into an adult who struggles to speak up. A child who felt criticized may become a perfectionist, constantly seeking approval. A child who learned that love had to be earned may grow into someone who people pleases at the cost of their own well-being. These are not flaws, they are survival strategies. And many of us still operate from them unconsciously. That's why healing the inner child matters. Because the wounds we don't address don't disappear, they drive our decisions from the background. But here's the empowering truth: your inner child is not just wounded, it is also wise. It remembers joy, creativity, authenticity. It knows how to feel fully and love freely. When we reconnect with this part of ourselves, we begin to unlearn the belief that we must always be strong, that we must always have it together. We realize that our vulnerability is not weakness, it's the doorway to healing. Healing the inner child is not about blaming our parents or reliving trauma. It's about honoring the experiences that shaped us and giving ourselves the love, safety, and validation we didn't always receive. And when we do that, something beautiful happens. We stop seeking externally what we can now give ourselves internally. We stop reacting from old wounds and start responding with conscious love. We begin to feel whole. So as we move into the next chapters, keep this in mind. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. There is simply a part of you that still needs to be seen, soothed, and loved. And it's not too late to give that to yourself. Let's go deeper. Chapter 2. Signs your inner child is wounded. The child that is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. African proverb. Now that we've met the inner child, let's talk about how we know when this part of us is still hurting. Many people walk through life carrying childhood wounds without even realizing it. These wounds don't always scream, they whisper. They show up in subtle, persistent patterns that can be easy to miss or normalize. But if we pay attention, we can start to recognize the signs. Let's look at a few of the most common ones. 1. Chronic self-doubt and low self-worth. Do you constantly question yourself, even when you know you've done well? Do compliments make you uncomfortable, like you don't really deserve them? This may stem from a childhood where love or praise felt conditional. When your inner child didn't feel truly accepted, they learned to earn love rather than receive it freely. As an adult, this becomes a default setting of, I'm not enough. 2. People-pleasing and fear of rejection. Do you have a hard time saying no even when it exhausts you? Do you base your decisions on what others think rather than what feels true for you? If so, your inner child may have felt unsafe expressing needs or emotions. To avoid punishment, shame, or abandonment, they learned to please others. Now, even as an adult, conflict may feel terrifying, because the wound says, if I disappoint them, I might lose them. 3. Perfectionism and harsh inner criticism. Do you push yourself to do everything just right? Is your inner voice often unkind, constantly pointing out your flaws? This often points to a childhood where mistakes were punished, or achievements were the only path to approval. The inner child learned that love is something you have to earn by being perfect. But that voice, the harsh critic, isn't actually you. It's a protector trying to keep you from feeling rejected again. And it's exhausted. 4. Fear of abandonment and clinginess in relationships. Do you feel anxious when someone pulls away emotionally? Do you fear being left even when there's no real danger? That fear might come from emotional abandonment during childhood, times when your emotional needs weren't met, or when affection was inconsistent. Your inner child is still looking for the parent figure who will finally stay fully and unconditionally. 5. Emotional numbness or overreaction. Do you feel emotionally shut down? Or do small triggers sometimes cause big reactions? Both are signs of unhealed emotional wounds. Some inner children learn to hide their feelings as a survival strategy. Others are so raw inside that even minor experiences can reopen the old pain. These signs don't make you weak or broken, they make you human. They are messages from within calling your attention. Not to shame you but to guide you. Your inner child isn't trying to sabotage you, it's trying to be heard. And once we recognize these signs, we can start to shift. From people-pleasing to self-trusting. From self-criticism to self-compassion. From fear to freedom. Awareness is the beginning of healing. And if you're here, it means you've already begun. In the next chapter, we'll explore exactly how to start reparenting your inner child, and finally give yourself the safety and love you've been seeking for so long. You're not alone on this path. Let's keep walking together. Chapter 3. Reparenting yourself. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. Because the most important parent your inner child will ever have is you. When we talk about healing the inner child, one of the most important steps is reparenting. A process of giving yourself, as an adult, what you didn't receive consistently as a child. This doesn't mean blaming your parents. Many did their best with what they knew. But even in the most loving homes, emotional needs can go unmet. Reparenting is not about judgment, it's about responsibility. It's about choosing today to become the safe, loving, supportive presence your inner child has always longed for. So what does reparenting actually look like? 1. Creating safety. Emotional and physical. As children, we needed to feel safe to express who we really were. If we were shamed for crying, scolded for needing comfort, or ignored when we were scared, we learned to suppress emotions and wear masks. Reparenting starts by creating a space where your inner world is safe. This means listening to your feelings without judgment. It means saying to yourself, it's okay to feel this way. I'm here. I won't abandon you. Start small. Notice when you're overwhelmed or anxious, and instead of pushing it down, pause. Place a hand on your chest. Breathe deeply. Say something kind. Become the soothing voice you needed back then. 2. Meeting your needs without guilt. Many of us learned that our needs were too much. So we became low maintenance, overly independent, or always put others first. But your needs matter. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to say no. Reparenting means recognizing what you need, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and honoring those needs as valid. It's self-care but deeper. It's self-respect. 3. Setting boundaries with compassion. Children without strong emotional boundaries often grow into adults who feel responsible for everyone else's feelings. Or they allow others to overstep because they fear conflict. Reparenting involves learning to say, this doesn't feel right for me. I care about you, but I also need to care for myself. Boundaries are not walls, they're bridges that allow connection without self-abandonment. Your inner child thrives in environments where their no is respected. And now you get to be the one who respects it. 4. Encouraging yourself like a loving parent would. Think about how you talk to yourself when you fail or make a mistake. Is it harsh? Is it shaming? Now imagine speaking to a small child who just tried their best and fell short. You wouldn't call them stupid or weak. You'd encourage them. You'd reassure them. That's what reparenting is. Speaking to yourself with kindness, especially when you're hurting. Saying, you did your best. I'm proud of you. We'll try again tomorrow. Self-love isn't just bubble baths. It's this kind of inner dialogue that changes everything. 5. Reintroducing play, curiosity, and joy. Finally, remember, your inner child isn't just wounded, they're also playful, curious, and creative. Reparenting means not just healing pain but also reconnecting with joy. Dance without judgment. Draw something silly. Laugh at dumb jokes. Lie on the floor and stare at the ceiling. Let that younger part of you come out and breathe again. This is where healing becomes transformation, when you stop surviving and start living. You are no longer the powerless child waiting for someone else to rescue you. You are the adult now. And you have the power to show up for yourself, in the way no one else ever could. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to release the pain that's still trapped inside. The anger, the sadness, the shame, and how forgiveness not for others but for yourself can set you free. Chapter 4. Emotional Release and Forgiveness. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. Unknown. Now that we've begun reparenting ourselves with love and care, we reach a deeper, more tender part of the journey, the release. Because even when we've built new habits, even when we speak kindly to ourselves and meet our needs, there's often a weight we still carry. The uncried tears. The unspoken rage. The ache of abandonment we never got to express. Healing the inner child means giving those old emotions a voice. It means letting yourself feel what you were once too young, too scared, or too alone to feel. 1. Giving yourself permission to feel. You might have been taught that anger is dangerous, that sadness is weakness, that crying makes you dramatic. But these were lies told by people who were afraid of their own emotions. And now it's time to rewrite that script. Close your eyes. Imagine your younger self standing in front of you. What do they need to say? What feelings have been buried for years? Let them speak. You may be surprised by what rises: grief, rage, confusion, shame. And that's okay. All of it is welcome here. You are no longer a child trying to survive. You are an adult creating a safe container for healing. 2. The power of expression. Emotional release isn't always quiet or tidy. Sometimes it looks like screaming into a pillow, punching a mattress, crying until your chest aches. Other times it's writing a letter you'll never send, dancing to a song that cracks your heart open, talking to someone who can hold space for you. What matters is that it's honest, that it's real. Because emotions don't vanish, they wait. And they wait until they can finally be felt all the way through. Releasing them is not regression, it's liberation. 3. Forgiving yourself. After the storm often comes the guilt. Why did I let this happen to me? Why didn't I speak up? Why am I still struggling with this? But you were doing the best you could with the tools you had. You were surviving, adapting, protecting yourself. Forgiveness isn't about excusing harm, it's about freeing yourself from the grip of the past. It's looking into the mirror and saying, I forgive you for not knowing better. I forgive you for needing love so badly you accepted less. I forgive you for being human. And that's what your inner child has needed all along, not perfection, just compassion. For letting go of the need to fix the past. You cannot rewrite your childhood. You cannot make people understand who refuse to see you. But you can choose what you carry forward. You can stop bleeding from wounds that are no longer open. Release is not forgetting, it's honoring. It's saying, I remember what happened. And I choose to love myself anyway. As we close this chapter, place your hand on your heart. Breathe in and out. Let the tears come if they're there. Let the silence hold you if words don't arrive. You are doing something sacred, turning inward, facing the pain, and choosing peace. That is the bravest thing a person can do. In our final chapter, we'll look at how to integrate this healing into daily life, so your inner child not only feels safe but also free to dream, explore, and thrive. Chapter 5. Integration and Empowerment. Healing isn't just about mending what's broken, it's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Now that we've met our inner child, held their pain, and started the journey of reparenting and release, it's time for the final chapter. Integration and empowerment. Because healing doesn't end with awareness. It continues in the way you live, love, and lead yourself every single day. It's not just about understanding your past. It's about reclaiming your future. 1. Living as your true self. Integration means taking everything you've remembered, felt, and healed, and allowing it to change the way you show up in the world. It's choosing authenticity over approval. It's making decisions not from fear but from self-respect. It's allowing joy, spontaneity, and curiosity back into your life, not as luxuries but as your birthright. Every time you speak your truth, honor a boundary, or comfort yourself in a hard moment, you're proving to your inner child, we are safe now. We are home. That is what integration looks like, living from the inside out. 2. Building a new identity. For so long you may have carried identities formed in pain. The one who always has to be strong. The quiet one. The people pleaser. The fixer. But those are survival identities. They protected you when you didn't have a choice. Now you do. Empowerment begins when you choose who you want to be, not based on the past but on the life you're creating now. So ask yourself, who am I when I am free? What would I do if I truly believed I was worthy? Let your answers guide you. Let your inner child dream without limits, and then let your adult self make those dreams real. 3. Daily practices that anchor your healing. Integration isn't a one-time decision. It's a way of living. So build rituals that keep you connected. A daily check-in. How am I feeling today? What do I need? A morning affirmation. I am safe. I'm loved. I am enough. A moment of stillness each night to say, I showed up for myself today. These small acts accumulate. They create inner stability. They remind you that you don't need chaos to feel alive. You just need presence. For empowering others through your healing. As you heal, you become a light for others. Not because you have all the answers, but because your presence speaks safety. You show others that it's possible to break cycles. That softness can be strong. That wounds don't make you weak, they make you wise. Healing the inner child is a personal path, but its ripple effect is collective. You heal yourself, and in doing so, you heal generations. 5. Walking forward with wholeness. There will still be hard days. Old patterns may whisper. Doubt may creep in. But you're not who you used to be. Now you have tools. You have awareness. You have a relationship with yourself that is rooted in truth, not trauma. And most of all, you are empowered. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've reclaimed your voice, your worth, and your inner light. As this episode closes, take a deep breath. Put a hand on your heart. Whisper to your inner child. We made it. We're not just surviving anymore, we're living. This is the beginning of a new story. One written in love, courage, and freedom. And you are its author. Thank you for being here today, for showing up not just to listen but to feel, to reflect, and to heal. This episode wasn't just a lesson, it was a journey inward, a reminder that you are not broken, you are becoming. And that your inner child, who once only wanted to feel safe, seen, and loved, is finally being held by the one person who can offer it all, you. If this episode moved something in you, if it brought you peace, insight, or even a few tears, please consider sharing it with someone who might need the same. You never know whose heart might be waiting to hear these words. And together, we can create a ripple of healing that reaches far beyond ourselves. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And until next time, be kind to yourself, be gentle with your past, and keep walking forward with love. You're not alone anymore. You're home.